Good morning, YouTubers. This is Joe Bravo and Mo Bravo's Knife Reviews. Today I have a special comparison video between two brand new knives, or new to me, and one that's been on the channel before. I have a Skiff Accomplice, a Koenig Arius 57, and a Holt Specter. Both of these knives are CNC custom knives. I know you talk to people, and some people believe that a custom knife isn't a custom knife, or a knife isn't a custom knife unless it's handmade. I don't know if I agree with that yet. I haven't been doing this long enough to actually take that stance or not. I do feel that a CNC made custom knife is certainly custom. However, is it handmade? No, but to me, the artistry, the machinery, the ability to configure the program in the CNC machine is certainly an art. Just because the machine is doing the milling and the handwork, or the what would be handwork from a custom design, I don't think that takes anything away from the actual knife itself. So let's get into the knives. We've got three beautiful knives. They all run on bearings. They have around 3.5-inch blade length. They are all terribly comfortable. I love absolutely every one of these. Just some comparison. You have what is probably one of the top dogs in the market, the discontinued V4 Specter M390 steel mirror stone wash with the bent starburst scales. This is beautiful. They anodized the pivot, hardware, and clip, and the backspacer. And what everybody loves about these, for good reason, is the action. Drop shut. No frame lock to get in the way. It is deployment every time, and it is a beautiful, wonderful knife. So why doesn't everybody have one? Table on this was about $750. Well, the reason is they stopped making them. Once they stopped making them, people in the secondary market realized they were worth more because of how good they are. And they're not wrong. I did pick this up for over table. I'd pay it again because it is a wonderful knife, and I think everybody should at least try one once. Whether it's a V3, a V2, a V1, a V4. If you like frame lock, if you like liner lock. The V4 is the only version with the liner lock. V1, V2, and V3 are all frame locks. I don't think that takes anything away from them. They come in different milling patterns, different steels. I really think you should give them a look if you haven't already. The Koenig Arius. Everybody knows that I have an affinity for the Koenig Arius. I have my polished chamfers. I've had the bronze one. I've had carbon fiber, DLC, Gen 2, Gen 4, full weight, lightning pockets. It doesn't matter. Whatever Koenig you get your hands on, you are going to have a tremendous knife with a tremendous action, and everybody knows I am an action whore. This freaking thing is out of control. I mean, the action on it just is drop shutty. It is a frame lock, and it's basically a polished chamfered model like you've seen on the channel before, except they milled out the pattern with what they call their Style 57 milling pattern. As you can see here, it says Style 57, and the pocket clip is the same as the chamfered. The backspacer is the stonewash and polished backspacer that again is on the polished chamfered model. The blade is not the bright wash, but it's the hand rubbed, which is something I'm really excited about. This is a beautifully done hand rub blade, and I'm thoroughly impressed. That's not to say that I don't appreciate the bright wash. I do. It's amazing. It's great for hiding use. I think everybody should at least try and get their hands on one. The carbon fibers, some of the special, limited runs, they typically have that bright wash blade, and it is fantastic as a user. This one is just pretty to look at, and I really enjoy it. Something I didn't mention, All three of these makers are USA made. They're all made right here in the States. I believe they're made entirely in-house as well. So again, you can't call it a mid-tech because they're doing everything in-house. And again, it's another reason why I do think you could still consider these custom and not a semi-custom or a CNC custom. But again, that's my opinion. If you disagree, that's fine. The blade steel on this guy is M390. Some of the older ones had a couple different steel variants. And the handles are, I believe, aluminum or titanium. I can't ever remember. I got to imagine if they were titanium, you know, we'd anodize them like the Holt and like the Skiff Drifter, Skiff Accomplice. These scales are able to be anodized, and I just never see anybody anodizing the scales on the Koenig. One of the other questions that come up, the Koenig Arius used to have aluminum pivots, and the aluminum pivot wasn't able to be anodized, so it never had a color. You see the bronze one. I've had blue ones here. They are now making pivots that are made in titanium so that they can be anodized. When you get a hardware kit from EDC Foundry, which is where I bought a couple of my latest Koenigs from, Wes, great job getting that stuff out. You can buy the hardware pack, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but no pivot. And everybody says, oh, where can I get a blue pivot? Where can I get a bronze pivot? You can't. And the reason you can't is Koenig doesn't sell them. So keep your eyes out for these latest Gen 4 Batch 5s. They should all be having titanium pivots that can be anodized. So if you do want to get a set of hardware, you could always send the pivot out to be anodized or do it yourself. And then you have a little bit more flexibility in making the knife a complete package, which is something that you get on the Skiff and the Specter, as you can see. The last knife I want to touch on is the Accomplice, and it is the big boy of the Skiff bunch. The Drifter and the Culprit are a little bit smaller, 3.25-inch blade. The Accomplice is a 3.5-inch blade, and I think it's the bee's knees. This grind work is absolutely fantastic. You know, it's just wild. And the first time I saw one of these things, I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't know if I liked it or if I didn't like it. Having my hands on it really shows that it is a fabulous knife. Hand rub blade, double grind, as you can see there. It is a drop point, or you can call it a pointed edge, because the Drifter, which gets so much of the accolades out of Skiff, is not. That is a sheep's foot or a Warncliffe. I think it's a sheep's foot style blade. But again, I like pointies. The only thing I have that I like that's not a pointed blade would happen to be my Cortex, and I love that just straight up from the Fidget Factor. Great to open in boxes, don't get me wrong. But my preference in carrying an everyday blade is a pointed blade, and I think this one is fabulous. My buddy Stefan gave me a hell of a deal on this, and I thank him every day for it. It is wild. Like I said, this knife does come in a couple different milling patterns. I don't know what they call them. It's not like Holt, where they call this the bent starburst or the pinstripe or the feathered or the ridgeback. But I fucking love this pattern. It is awesome. I mean, the other one that they make almost looks like a bolster. It's got a couple of different patterns in here. You can go with a Damascus inlay. You can make a Damascus pivot. They've got 3D pivots. They've got milled pivots. You can anodize it in any color. You can anodize the screws in a different color. You can anodize the handles in a different color. You can anodize the pocket clip in a different color. And when my buddy sent this to me, I was fucking underwhelmed. I was like, this is what was in the picture, and I grabbed a little bit of Windex and I cleaned it up, and that shit just glows now. I mean, it is awesome. I can't wait. One of the things I could say with the Skiff, and everybody knows I like the drop shut. Skiff's tolerances are so good, and the way that this action is tuned, this is not drop shut, and that's the way it comes from the factory, and that's the way they want their knives to be made. And yeah, that's fine. Everybody's got a personal preference, especially when the maker's doing it that way. I haven't tried to tune it. I don't think I'm going to try and tune it, mainly because that's how the blade maker made it, and what's it for me to tell him that that's not the way that blade should be dropping shut. And from everything that I've read, the tolerances on that are so tight that even any tuning or lubrication, it's not going to drop shut. So if that's something that has significant, value to you when you select a knife, I just want you to see whether or not it's the Accomplice or the Drifter. And if I'm doing something wrong, please let me know. If I could tune this to make it a little bit more drop shut, let me know. Frame lock on this guy. They do make an Accomplice liner lock, but the books on that, I think, have been closed. We'll talk about, getting these knives. We said the Holt Specter's been discontinued. You can't get it. Secondary market only. They, pulled the okey doke the other day, maybe 4 weeks ago. They had a lottery, and that lottery had Specters in it, and I think they said that was the last batch. So if you want one, it's secondary market only. Blade Forum, Reddit, or Facebook and the Facebook groups. Koenig Arius, in this particular fashion, I don't even know how I got my hands on this. This pops up on the site randomly every now and then. This is number 56, which means there's only been 56 of these made. And it's unbelievable because I got a buddy of mine who had one last year, and his is my 44, for his 44th birthday, Jay, right? And it's just so funny because you're telling me only 12 of these blades have been made in a year. Look how beautiful that is and how limited it is. It really makes it something special. But the regular plain Janes and the textured with the regular stonewash blade, you can get them a little bit more readily available. EDC Foundry has them. DLT has them. Who else? USA Made Blades has them. They come, they go. They are lightning quick, and if you don't get one, SOL on you. The good thing is they pop up all the time on Reddit, on Blade Forum, and on the Facebook group. You can get them. You can get them a little bit over table. The secondary prices aren't out of control like the Specter, where you had like a $750, $800 knife going for about $1,500. The plain Jane Koenig Ariuses, they range from about $750 to anywhere up to $950. The Skiff Accomplice, on the other hand, they pop up, but when they pop up, you don't have time to think. My buddy Stefan posted that on Reddit, and I'm telling you, I PM'd him immediately, and thank God that I did, because there were 9 guys behind me all waiting to get their hands on one of these. It's not that you can't get them, it's that you can't get one right now. And if you contact Skiff, you get on their books. It's about a $950 blade, depending on what configuration you do. They originally came with standoffs, but Stefan sent this back and had them put the backspacer in there, which I am so glad that he did, because that thing is just beautiful. Now I believe that they do come with that backspacer as part of the standard package. And if you're interested, reach out to them. They respond very quickly. They're very informative. They want to work with you. You can select whatever you want. Go to their Instagram page. Pick out what knife you want. The different types of milling patterns. The different types of pivots. Anodization. And, you really can get a custom knife specified to your specifics. And you can be happy with it, My buddy Kyle, he got a Drifter the other day. They sent him a picture. He didn't like how the pivot was. They modified the pivot, modified the hardware. He's got it in hand, and he's happier than a pig in shit. So that really lends itself to you to know the kind of people that you're dealing with Skiff. And, I'm really thoroughly impressed. I think I'm going to try and get my hands on one. Hey, look, there's an Accomplice like I talked about, and that's the different milling style pattern. Which I don't care for, which is okay, because I don't have to like every knife, and neither do you. Just something to everybody to understand. This is an objective hobby. You're not going to know if you like it until you see it. You're not going to know if you like it until you have it in hand, and you're not going to like it, if you like it, until you deploy it. I do have one thing to mention. I know this is at the tail end of the video. I did a video the other day on the Demco 8020 MG, which is the 80/20 machine grind. Apparently, if you reach out to Knife Joy, they will send you a left-handed pocket clip for your Demco. And that's something I didn't know. I was talking to Chris Miller the other day, who I'm telling you is a great guy. If you have any reservations about using Knife Joy, don't. I've been really happy with them. But he told me that the Demco does have a left-handed pocket clip that they can send you. So if you do manage to get your hand on one of those, give Chris or reach out to Knife Joy, and they wouldn't have any problem taking care of you. Which again, in this industry, really speaks volume to the people that you're working with. You want to buy your knives from people that care about you, want you to be happy, want you to come back, and want you to have something at the end of the day that you're really going to enjoy. And I really do think these three knives, these makers, really put everything into how they manufacture these blades so that when their customers get them in hand, they know that they, like Kyle, are happier than a pig in shit. So be like Kyle. Kyle likes, Kyle comments, Kyle subscribes. He's my biggest proponent. Be like Kyle. Get engaged, get interactive. Find me on Instagram, Watson and the Shark, and reach out, have a conversation, and very much looking forward to the next time we get to talk. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thanks.